but I'll do it again on the Bedrock edition. Yeah, this series is a mess. Hopefully the Bedrock one will be actually decent, but yeah. For months since I've tried over again. Every single time, either getting bored, losing motivation, or just getting a terrible nether spawn. Once things went well, once things were making actual good progress, taking advantage of the time the government had set aside for me to return to school for far more useful endeavours. But I already started off heading for the stronghold, and 1.16 was released. I thought, I know, let's find a warped forest, there'll be plenty of endermen there, or maybe let's trade with piglins. Let's just go back to the nether. Was there any lava? Was there any hope of getting back to the original? No. I'll start again. Even after that, every time in 1.16, every nether spawn was either a basalt delta or a soul sand valley. Sorry to interrupt the tension and all that, but I'd just like to say that one seed even had a pond and a lava lake right by spawn and a village, and another seed I found 18 total blocks of obsidian in a village that was right near spawn, and there wasn't even a blacksmith. And still, they both had garbage nether spawns, which ruined everything. Sometimes I even tried one of the techniques I'm going to use in this video, but for the dragon. I don't really know how I messed that one up, but there you go. So much so that I eventually just resorted to creative mode, spawning in countless skeletons just to kill them all with potions and lava. But now, we're going to do this.
In the only way he knew how. Badly.
As close to cheating as you can get without actually activating cheats.
My unofficial theme song. I have a theme song.
So off I set. My original plan needed a village, ideally one near spawn, so off I went on a random seed, eager and ready to go. Within seconds, I realised I could probably do with a nearby village to spawn, and I made it this far before giving up and trying another one. Not just any other one. So with ample wood collected, I started trapping villagers in their houses and collecting resources. The only downside of my intention here was that I'd need to do a lot of mining. Not necessarily to find resources, but to make a large room underground where my idea could take place. And as we know, ironically, for a game called Minecraft, I find the mining incredibly boring. How people have the will to spend hours strip mining and finding diamonds every 7th hour, I have no idea. Anyway, I continue to mine outer space. And of course, now I find the stronghold. And then I found water. Great, thanks for that. Now I knew there was an iron golem in this village. Golem. I'll say golem, because it rolls off the tongue nicer, whatever. But it disappeared. So I tracked him down and then hit him. This was merely as a test of concept. So I led them down into where I dug, which was successful, and was then killed, as was part of the plan. However, as soon as I respawned, they were walking out, and I just gave up at this point. You see, my ingenious and totally original plan was to use them to kill the wither. Totally original idea that no one has ever had before, ever.
They're pushing it into the corner. Yeah, I did say that I'm not allowing myself to mine anything but iron in this challenge.
No!
You are a moron!
But instead of having to actually mine for resources, I would trap them underground where they couldn't help the villagers at night when mobs were there, so theoretically, eventually, they would spawn a new one, and rinse and repeat. I've no idea if it would work, this was more a proof of concept, but as you can tell from the fact I just closed the world, I gave up. Then I remembered a previous tactic that I mentioned I'd tried before.
Hello, I'm ibxtoycat. I've been asking for a very long time for me to do a world download, and I haven't been able to on the Xbox One. It just hasn't really been possible. But now that we're on Bedrock, my world is downloadable.
Of course, this is technically a completely legit survival world. So for all the game knows, I got all this myself. As I had no idea where I was in proximity to spawn, I threw together an ender chest. So I broke the nearest bed, which I knew to be the one that it was currently set to, because I've been in this world before, obviously. And I was quickly killed by a drowned, which I've now learned have inexplicably far bigger heads than you do. So, back at spawn, I reset my spawn point to the house and began tracking down all the iron I could find.
Oh, the agony of choice.
I searched the chests around the house and found some iron, and then I discovered that because this world is from, 2018, the beacon next to the house was made entirely of iron, which was helpful. So after completely ransacking that, leaving a floating beacon and ender pearling out of the hole just to show off my newfound wealth, I discovered in the nearby wither building that there was already a skull, which was nice. And also soul sand, but that's not exactly difficult to get. I headed underground to check out the obsidian situation, and there was plenty of it. Not quite the way I wanted it, but I'd come back to that. In the meantime, I went back to the iron situation, which I have no idea why I ever thought was going to be a problem. Oh, nice. So, after some heartless slaughter and finding even more iron in a furnace, I nabbed some fireworks for the elytra and harvested pumpkins for a while. Not very long, to be honest. I knew there was another beacon at 00, so I turned on coordinates, even though you can't see them because of how this is cropped. So, after various failed attempts at taking off, I started flying on the long trek to find... Oh, that was easy. This was only a small beacon, was made predominantly out of gold, but there was some iron, so I took it anyway. I blocked back out, and then remembered I had an elytra and fireworks, and that did the rest. An elytra was all I wanted out of that last run, but did I get it? No, I just got a bunch of chorus fruit. Yay. So now I started mining up half of the obsidian. My idea was to make the platform half the size and use the obsidian saved for a roof and potentially walls, because I couldn't be bothered to go and track down a bunch more.
Get out of my sight.
So I set up what I had of the wither and tried to preserve the obsidian by doing a bit of a place one, miss one thing, but I was already low by this point anyway, so but I had enough, so there you go. Well, may as well prepare the golems now. It's probably a better tool to use for harvesting pumpkins, but whatever. I started off by just making them around, but then realised it was going to get pretty crowded pretty quickly, so I started making them in the air. Countless blocks of iron, various mess-ups, and a witch I didn't notice at the time. Later, we were ready, and I made a copy of the world for if everything went horribly wrong, or corrupted, or whatever. Now it was time to get the other two skeleton heads, which shouldn't be too difficult considering I have a looting sword. I was very confused about where the damage was coming from, and then realised I was being attacked by piglins at one point, but oh well, not to worry.
Not to worry.
At one point I was both on fire and had withering effect, but dropped the health potion halfway through drinking it and had to go running after it, only for when I finally finished drinking it to have all of those effects finished and my hearts to be over half full. So after going back to collect a bow and editing this to make it look like I killed this ghast on first attempt and not 50th, I continued on my killing spree, at one point accidentally angering some zombified piglins, and yeah, I actually called them by the proper name, wow. So, not needing yet another mob to be hostile against me, I headed back to the overworld, and after a bit more heartless killing, the piglins had forgiven me. So, back to the scene of the crime, and some of my favourite people were there.
I'm gonna hate this, aren't I?
Eventually I got the second head, as you do. And on, I kid you not, the very next skeleton I killed... So the golems killed the skeleton, and I decided that I would make a new backup of the world if everything went horribly wrong now, so I didn't lose my progress. And I sat there for a few seconds, to make sure, in my mind, that I didn't delete the wrong one. And immediately deleted the wrong one.
What?
Well, guess we're back here again. Sometime, granted considerably less time than the first time, but still sometime later... At one point I also dropped my sword and picked up some coal in its place, but never mind.
Okay, come on! You want a piece of me?
Even less time later... So we're back here again. I made another backup of the world, and decided it might be nice to be able to actually see this. So now, having mastered taking off with an elytra, I headed out to find a village, which would no doubt have carrots in it, because I couldn't find any where I was. Not that I looked much, but still. Pretty soon I ran out of fireworks and landed on an incomplete minecart track. However, 1 second of walking further, I found a village. Well, guess we're going there. Alas, there was only wheat. So, some convenient cooked mutton, an angry enderman, some skeletons in the library, and an embarrassing fail at taking off with the elytra later, I headed back. On foot. And then got mining fatigue. And then also failed to solve the mystery of how this gravel is floating. I then found another village which I failed on many attempts to get into. Because I couldn't mine the wall because I had mining fatigue. I then ran into the most ineffective creeper and the most ineffective iron golem in the history of the world.
Do something!
It's not even like I could break the half slab, I've still got mining fatigue! Pretty soon after that I found myself in the ugly desert that's had all the sand removed, even though the sandstone looks like sand anyway, so why would you not remove that as well? Some distance after that, I discovered there was an armour stand that had a wither skeleton skull on it. That made me slightly frustrated. I also found an enchanted golden apple and took it because why not? Ironically, the next thing I did was eat rotten flesh. Back at the house, I decided to double check the chests and found that the second one I opened had 48 carrots in it. To show off my newfound carrot wealth and ignoring the mistakes I made along the way, I ate some, and then a pig walked in. So I continued to show off my wealth and gave it some. Then I spent the next 3 minutes trying to figure out how to make golden carrots. So, with potions brewed, I headed back underground. I considered making another backup, but visibly stopped and decided against it because I'm not taking any chances again. Even though, ironically, by not taking that chance, I'm thereby taking the chance that this could all go wrong and I'd have to make more potions. Although at least now I know where the carrots are, it wouldn't be that difficult. So I drank all the potions because I ain't got anything better to use them for. And also ate the golden apple because why not? Then I placed the final head. However, I hadn't entirely considered where I was going to watch this from. So I went back up to a level above the top of the obsidian and decided to mine out some of the stone to get a nice view, when I realised I still had mining fatigue so I couldn't break the blocks. Although with hindsight, it may have been because I was trying to use a shovel. Anyway, the battle continued, a bunch of golems were killed and I was losing hope. By the time I got down the stairs again, they'd killed it. That was it. And they all just casually walked away. Put this on that meme where it's like, it's so badass when people walk away from stuff they just destroyed.
So guys, we did it.
Well, I've got another star now, even though I ironically destroyed 2 beacons to get here. And we have literally 1 surviving golem. I shall name you... Oh, I forgot to name the name tags. I shall name you Clive. Hello, Clive. Moments after creating Clive's name tag, I realised I'd named all 7 of the name tags I had on me to Clive. I imagine you can change it, but instead I decided to just assign random people with the name Clive. So random sheep, Clive. That pig that I fed, Clive. After a quick lone celebratory firework, because I couldn't be bothered to make any more, I placed down the countless wither roses that I got from the battle, which I then discovered wither you if you walk into them, and then placed down all of the poppies on the other side to signify and commemorate the battle. Even though really it should be all of the poppies and then 1 wither rose. Oh well. My intention now was to go and name that Elder Guardian that gave me mining fatigue Clive, because at this point I was still under the impression that the mining fatigue had been a part of the final battle, rather than my incompetence of trying to break stone with a shovel and not realising. But I got stuck in that desert on the way and there was a zombie, so I named him Clive, but then Clive killed an innocent local, so I had to kill him.
Sorry, Clive.
Then I realised I couldn't be bothered to do anything else, so I thought I'll just let these skeletons kill me, but their aim was pathetic. I also realised it might be a good idea to take off all my armour, so I did that, and then realised that this zombie clearly wanted a piece of one of these skeletons, so I gladly obliged in helping him. Not that he won that fight, but never mind. So there we go. Me back to the house. On this world I definitely made myself. There we go. Totally legitimate. I got the Xbox Live achievement, so there you go. That means it's definite. There we go. We are done. I'm just trying to use up this bit at the end because I got this nice view footage and... Actually, I don't have to go to 10 minutes now, do I? I can only go to 8 minutes and I can get ads in the middle. Not that this is about ads, because I don't actually have any of the money I've allegedly made because of various factors, and I don't think I've reached the threshold yet. You need to make like 100, and I haven't made that yet. So, shut up, Aubrey. You're digging yourself into an even deeper hole. Just go to the outro. Thank you. Goodbye. I'd probably do the dragon in some way like this. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who cares? Leave. Get out of here.